way of Will John.
I'll say a few things about Munich. During the Olympics in Munich, in Germany, a Palestinian terror group entered the Olympic village, entered the Israeli section, and murdered, if I'm not mistaken, 11 people from the Israeli delegation. And afterwards, Israel decided to go after all the people that were involved with this terror attack and basically assassinate them. So during this effort, of course, the Israeli Mossad made a mistake in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. They actually assassinated someone by mistake that was not related, but some of them were assassinated. Some of them were assassinated in Lebanon, in Beirut. A special commando force went to Beirut and assassinated some of them in Beirut. And it was, first of all, a decision to let them know that Israel will hunt them no matter where they hide, even if it's in the middle of Lebanon. And it was, taking revenge. How effective it was, and this leads us to the question, how effective are the assassinations? I saw many assassinations, especially during the Second Intifada. And sometimes, I say, 1 week we assassinated the head of Hamas, let's say in Ramallah. Another week, or the week later, we assassinated the head of Hamas in Ramallah. And the week later, we assassinated the head of Hamas in Ramallah. Because assassinations cannot kill ideology. They cannot kill an idea. Okay, they can kill people. So sometimes, you need to use assassinations. Sometimes you use assassination in order to stop someone that you have no other mean in order to stop him. And in order to stop the terror attack, you do it. Sometimes assassinations can be very effective. I remember the assassination of Fathi Shkaki, that was the head of the Islamic Jihad. He was assassinated in Malta. And after his assassination, for many years, the Islamic Jihad was very weak. And later on, they found some new leader. And I remember the assassination of, what was his name? Musawi, Abbas Musawi, leader of Hezbollah in Lebanon. Later on, after his assassination, Nasrallah became the head of Hezbollah, and I don't remember that Nasrallah was much better than Musawi. So Nasrallah, even today, makes lots of headache to the state of Israel. So assassination is something that sometimes states use. Many times it's not very effective, unless you say, revenge is part of our life, and we want, to feel that we get even. But I think that revenge is not a very good guide for diplomatics, for leading a state. So, sometimes you need it, but basically it's not a very good mean.
Right. And that is the way you put it. It's not a good way to lead a state, which is actually really interesting because there should be a goal, right? The assassination is used to do something, and like you said, if it's not going to kill the ideology, just like getting to the source of any problem, you got to get to the source. You can't just stop chopping off or putting band-aids on it. It's just going to keep going, and so it's such a tricky situation. And go ahead. Did you want to say something?
It's a very tricky situation, and I'll tell you something. And after many years, I worked for the Israeli Secret Service. I served the Israeli army. My father, for many years, served the Israeli army. My son is going to join the Israeli army this Thursday. For 50 years, we control, today is about 2, maybe 2.5, 3 million Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza. We try to tell ourselves that we are a democracy because, in Israel, every few years We have elections. The last few years, we had like 5 or 6 elections, which is too much. We have elections. We have parties. People go and vote. Basically, we have freedom of speech. Basically, we have the freedom to demonstrate. But 3 million people don't have. And 3 million people are under military control. And I asked myself, how can we be a democracy if at least 3 million people in this equation are not taking part of this game? And this is the main problem, because, you can assassinate as much as you want. I think that in the West Bank, Israel, the Israeli intelligence is very strong. Usually they are very successful in stopping terror attacks. If not talking about the Second Intifada, we finished the Second Intifada in 2001, ended 2004, with over 1,400 Israelis that were murdered during the second Intifada. So I asked myself, as a father, not as an ex-Shin Bet, not as a citizen in the state of Israel, and someone that saw few things, even in the more, we say, hidden parts of the history. I asked myself, what is our end game? Where do we want to take it to? What kind of future we give our children, Because, we can fight. Israel is strong. Israel has a very strong army. I don't know. In the world, I don't know about it, but people say that Israel has the nuclear power. I don't know if we do or not, but this is what people say. We're very strong. So sometimes being strong is not a very good thing, and it doesn't lead us to a very good future. And I really don't see right now where our leadership is taking us to.